We are set for our Week 2 matchup in Cleveland at First Energy Stadium. The Ravens and the Browns, AFC North matchup. And after some worries about the weather, we have a lovely day. 77 degrees. The sun is shining as we get set for kickoff in Week 2. And the Cleveland Browns will receive that opening kickoff from Justin Tucker. Carter Blackburn, Chris Sims, Jenny Dell. Our producer, Scott Brandwine, our director, Andy Friedman, to bring you Week 2, Baltimore and Cleveland. So the Browns will get it at the 25-yard line. And you see Josh McCown, the now 37-year-old quarterback, in his 14th season out of Sam Houston State. 9 NFL stops and a year with the Hartford Colonials of the UFL. And yet through the injuries and the longevity here in Week 2, Josh McCown, who has played great in his career against the Baltimore Ravens, gets the start for Cleveland.
Yeah, it's a great thing to have if you're the Cleveland Browns organization. And you know why Josh McCown's hung around for so long? Plain and simple. He's got talent. He's got size. He can run when he has to, and he's got a big-time arm.
And you see with the Hugh Jackson offense, you're going to see shifts from the Cleveland Browns throughout the day. No surprise on first down from the 25-yard line. Crowell is shoved back on the first touch. He will lose at least one. So Josh McCown starts Week 2 after Robert Griffin III started Week 1. The first time in NFL history, 2+ starting quarterbacks in 15 straight seasons.
It's not the kind of record you would like as an organization, that is for sure. Poor RG3, he was doing some good things, played better than people realized last week, but this is one thing he's learning throughout his young career to this point. Got to learn to stay healthy, protect his body a little bit better, and that's why we see Josh McCown in there.
On 2nd and 11, trying on the ground again. Crowell gets a couple to bring up third down. And Chris, take us through the starters for the Cleveland Browns offense.
Well, let's start with the offensive line. This is a better group than I think people realize. The big thing is Cameron Irving, second-year guy out of Florida State, playing center. He has been getting better. Terrell Pryor Sr. on the edge, a freak of nature, can be a superstar wide receiver in the NFL. Pretty amazing the transition he's made from quarterback at Ohio State to now a legitimate #1 NFL wide receiver.
McCown will likely rely on those receivers on 3rd and 7. Duke Johnson in the backfield with them. Pressure off the edge. McCown delivers complete. Hawkins has it. And he has the first down as he goes scooting past the 35-yard line.
Well, that's what Andrew Hawkins can do. He is one of the quicker slot receivers in all of football. You just got to get him the ball in space. You see the Ravens bring the blitz on the backside there. Hey, Josh McCown's got a lot of experience with this defense. This is what I would do if I'm Cleveland. Throw it short early. We saw on 1st and 2nd down that you're not going to push around this Baltimore Ravens defensive front 7. They got a lot of big guys up there.
Crowell takes it again on 1st down. Room on the right side as he pushes across the 40. We'll take a look at the vaunted Ravens defense.
Oh, the big bad Ravens defense. They just seem to always have big, nasty guys. Timmy Jernigan out of Florida State. He is one guy that pops when you watch film. At the linebacker position, of course we got to talk about Terrell Suggs. NFL defensive MVP. He's back healthy, looking mean and nasty as always. And then Jimmy Smith is their best cover corner on the outside. He'll have his hands full today, whether it's Corey Coleman or Terrell Pryor. But you see Suggs there. I mean, he's been around the NFL for a long time. He is still big and strong. He was a lot of fun to talk to yesterday, too.
Quick play fake. McCown drilled as he throws downfield and incomplete. Intended for Coleman. Man, it is Pierce who lays the big hit on Josh McCown.
Matt Pierce and Terrell Suggs have a party at Josh McCown. Matt Pierce, a rookie out of Samford, who is really just a big plugger, nose tackle type. Let's make a mosh pit of the run game. But he was impressive for a rookie Week 1 against the Buffalo Bills.
The first big hit on McCown, who missed 8 games at the end of last year with a collarbone injury. After the huge Week 5 performance against these Baltimore Ravens.
And it's Michael Pierce. I'm sorry I said Matt there.
Browns converted on their first 3rd down opportunity. McCown to the air. It is caught on a terrific grab by Duke Johnson. Slipping inside the 40. Johnson rolls all the way to the 31. Duke Johnson rips the reception away. Another third down conversion, 27 yards.
Well, it was phenomenal coverage. I believe it's Ladarius Webb on the coverage, but that's why you got a running back like Duke Johnson in the NFL. You need that type of guy. You can split him out at wide receiver, and he can run routes like he's a wide receiver. That was also a phenomenal throw by Josh McCown, right on target, like I said, in the tight coverage.
2 third down conversions in week 1. Opening drive, 2 third down conversions for the Browns. Play fake again. Now they'll dump it off Crowell on the screen. Flag down as Crowell slips inside the 20-yard line. And now we will check the flag.
Yeah, they're going to get Terrell Pryor for holding on the outside here. Nice play call, though, by Hugh Jackson.
Pass interference. Offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty. First down.
You know, you talked about it there about third down. That's the phenomenal thing about Josh McCown, and Dean Pease said it to us yesterday in the meeting. Josh McCown is dangerous. Let's look at a little block in the back there on Eric Weddle, free agent out of San Diego Chargers, who of course has been one of the better safeties in football for a long time. But McCown is dangerous on third down. You could see it if you're watching on TV. The ball pops out of his hand. He could throw it hard and accurate.
All pass interference because the ball was in the air on the screen. Johnson gets the handoff. You saw him in the pass game. Duke Johnson, second-year player out of Miami. He gets a couple on first and long.
One thing I know about this Baltimore Ravens defense, I like the approach of Cleveland to this point. But again, like I said in the opening, I do think the way to attack them is to throw the football against them. Baltimore's one of those defenses, when they get off the bus, I know you and I have joked about this, they'd whoop a lot of teams in a fight, just 53 on 53, and their defensive front seven is as impressive as it gets walking into the stadium.
Coleman goes in motion, inside here, Crowell tripped up as he crosses the 35, gets back to the 30. In just 2 days, NCIS's Michael Weatherly returns to CBS in the new legal drama Bull. Premieres Tuesday after NCIS, only CBS. Opening drive for Cleveland. They are 2 for 2 on third down. Facing third down and long again as Crowell heads back to the sideline. Call it 3rd and 9 for McCown and the Browns.
Look at all the people at the line of scrimmage right now for the Baltimore Ravens. This is what makes them dangerous. Who's coming? Who's dropping into coverage?
Pressure picked up. McCown hits, he throws again to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown. Corey Coleman. An opening drive touchdown for Josh McCown and the Cleveland Browns against the Ravens D. What a statement from McCown and the Cleveland offense in the home opener.
Well, I think that's why you saw that the Cleveland Browns had a lot of confidence. Takes a big hit from Zach Orr and Timmy Jernigan. And Corey Coleman, who is an extremely exciting prospect. It's going to be interesting to see if that right foot got in. It was very close. In fact, when I was watching up here, I did not think it got in. I'll just put myself out there and say it. But McCown, you could see the talent and the dangerous possibilities these receivers have on the outside.
Scoring plays reviewed. So 2 feet inbounds and then controlling all the way through contact with the ground. Coleman comes up with the football, therefore touchdown rule, but is that second foot inbounds. So our replay officials, Mike Wimmer, taking a look at it to see if the Cleveland touchdown stands. 6 on the board for now on the touchdown pass from Josh McCown. Here's the call.
After review, the call on the field stands. Touchdown.
So the question was whether the second foot, whether there was a toe on the end line, and apparently not the indisputable visual evidence.
Right.
And the call stands.
It's as close as it gets. As you can see, that right foot, I don't know. But either way, it was called a touchdown. And when he says call stands, that means there was nothing conclusive to overturn it.
So basically, if you say don't know or maybe could be, that means it stands.
Yes.
Again, that's in consultation with John Hussey, Mike Wimmer, and Dean Blandino, Senior Vice President of Officiating with the National Football League. Cleveland goes 3 for 3 on third down on the opening drive, and Josh McCown finds Corey Coleman. 9 plays, 75-yard opening statement from Josh McCown and the Browns.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by Fiat.
The Dog Pound is happy. They got a speedy new addition to the Cleveland Browns in Corey Coleman. He now has 3 catches in his NFL career. 58-yarder to open the second half last week. 31-yard TD reception for his first career touchdown. And a 7-0 lead for the Browns on the Ravens. Here is Devin Hester out of the end zone. Hester leaping across the 25, down the sideline. Hester breaks his first big one as a Baltimore Raven across the 45. Patrick Murray finally brings down the NFL's all-time best kick returner, Devin Hester.
There's no disputing that. You're right about that. All-time best. And another a great signing by the Baltimore Ravens and John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh, a special teams coach. Now he's got a guy to add another weapon to the array. 3 phases of the game. I know a lot of times we don't talk about special teams, but he's going to help this team out a lot.
But you know the Ravens do. So Joe Flacco under center on 1st and 10. Handing off to Justin Forsett. Nothing doing there. So Joe Flacco coming back from the torn ACL, the knee injury week 11 last year. You factor in the playoff games, he had started 137 straight games for the Ravens. But back healthy, they give him the extension in March. And now Joe Flacco healthy again in week 2, quarterbacking the Ravens.
Yeah, Joe Flacco, one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch in the game. So much more talented than people realize watching it on TV. TV does not do justice to his size, athleticism, and his big arm.
Flacco to the outside, showing off that big arm to Dennis Pitta. Coming back from injury himself, let's take a look at the Baltimore starters.
Well, the big guys up front, it's a talented group, but the rookie Ronnie Stanley out of Notre Dame has been phenomenal. They look like they got their franchise left tackle for a lot of years to come. Mike Wallace, we talked about, a speed burner on the outside, just like we saw with Corey Coleman. You leave him one-on-one on the outside, he can outrun just about anybody in the NFL.
Ravens face 3rd down. Flacco flings to the outside. That is caught for a first down. Mike Wallace makes the grab to move the chains for the Ravens. Joe Hayden on the stop.
And you see it here early. You know, the Cleveland Browns defenders are giving some room to these Baltimore Ravens wide receivers. They're going to say, no, we're going to make you catch the ball in front of us, rally to tackle, because Steve Smith on the other side, Wallace, Rashad Perryman, they can all hit the home run ball from Joe Flacco.
Hayden pressing up now on Wallace on 1st down. Flacco to the air again, incomplete. Over the middle, intended for Crockett Gilmore, the 3rd-year tight end. And now the Browns defense with a lot of new faces.
A lot of new faces, a young defense. Danny Shelton, the guy up front, 1st-round pick out of Washington. He's been really good. Demario Davis, free agent signing in from the New York Jets, can play on all 3 downs. He's been all over the field. And then there is the Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden is one of the shutdown corners in all of football. Battled some injuries last year. He'll have his hands full today in some one-on-one matchups.
2nd down. Toss. Forsett on the outside is drilled for a loss. Christian Kirksey leads the way.
Christian Kirksey gets the tackle, but I'll tell you who really did something special there is Joe Hayden. Watch to the left of your screen. Joe Hayden takes on Marshall Yanda, a lead blocker. That's like 185 or 190 going against 300-something pounds. Great job by him in playing the run. Who says corners can't play the run?
Taking on a Pro Bowl right guard there.
Yanda is as good as it gets, number 73 at right guard.
Forcing 3rd and 11, opening drive for the Ravens. Browns show pressure, back off. Flacco incomplete. Looking for the check down to Juszczyk. And the Browns defense comes up with a stop after that terrific return by Hester. Set up the Ravens in midfield.
Ray Orton is one of the best defensive coordinators the game has to offer. He can do some interesting things. You see John Holmes there, Tyrone Holmes, excuse me. pushing back Ronnie Stanley. I haven't seen too many people push back Ronnie Stanley. Tyrone Holmes, a rookie out of Montana, another young guy on this Browns defense.
Sam Cook hits it at the 49. Jamon Williams will go out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it out of bounds. What a start for the Browns, a touchdown. They stop Flacco and the Ravens. 7-0 Cleveland.
Welcome back. The Browns are up 7-0, and Hugh Jackson said Josh McCown is on this roster for a reason. He said we have complete confidence in him, and you've noted the fact he's been in the league for 15 years, and there's nothing compared to experience. And as you guys saw, the Ravens are well aware of what McCown can do, but guys, Coach John Harbaugh told me that they really only slightly changed the way they prepared for this game. Really, it's just a different quarterback paying Hugh Jackson's offense.
And he was solid on the opening drive, and a great start to the second drive. Crowell breaks free. Isaiah Crowell. Touchdown, Cleveland Browns, 85 yards. And the Cleveland Browns offense comes out firing in week 2 against Baltimore. 13-0 Browns.
Just right off the left side, behind their 2 studs, Joe Thomas, Joel Bentonio. Those are the 2 best offensive linemen on the Cleveland Browns team. I'm in shock. It's just not every day you see holes that big against this Baltimore Ravens defense, who's got so many good run stoppers.
Crowell had the only touchdown a week ago in Cleveland's week 1 loss against the Eagles. He breaks that one for 85. He had the big one in the 4th quarter, the go-ahead TD and the eventual overtime win in Baltimore last year. That was on a catch and run. Isaiah Crowell breaks it for 85 yards. The score is correct. The Cleveland Browns inept on offense in week 1. A 14-0 lead on Baltimore. 1 in the pass game and a huge one in the run game from Isaiah Crowell.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
The 85-yard touchdown run by Isaiah Crowell is the 2nd longest rush play in Browns history. Longer than any rush of Jim Brown's career. It puts Cleveland up 14-0 on Baltimore. How in the world did Crowell get that free against the Ravens?
Well, it's going to be pretty easy here. You're just going to see Joe Thomas going to block down. John Greco, right guard, going to come around, seal the deal, and it is a huge hole. And really, Isaiah Crowell does the rest after that. Gets a good block by the fullback. And if there's one negative about this Baltimore Ravens defense, there is not a lot of speed in the secondary. There's no shutdown corners. Eric Weddle, we talked about at safety. He's been around the block for quite some time here in the NFL. And once he got in the open, Crowell, he was gone.
Already more points and 3rd down conversions for the Browns in week 2 than they had in all of week 1. So West gets the handoff here. Now to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, John Harbaugh and everyone else telling us, hey, we know that Cleveland's rebuilding. We know that they didn't look good in week 1. But this is Browns versus Ravens. This is always a close game.
Yes.
So here they are down 14-0 against the Browns.
Yeah, down 14-0, but still no time to panic. You can run your offense and go with your normal game plan. It's still very early. You can see they're doing a little no huddle, but they did that in the first series. Baltimore has got an experienced quarterback. They will not panic.
Intercepted! Hayden picks it off on the slant. Joe Hayden looking for a block. Flacco throws the pick. Hayden with the interception. And the miraculous start for the Cleveland Browns in week 2 continues. Explosive plays from the offense. Joe Hayden picks off Joe Flacco to set up Cleveland again.
Joe Hayden's playing off coverage. He just recognizes the 3-step drop slant route from Steve Smith Sr. He puts his foot in the ground and basically just breaks on the ball and picks it off. Phenomenal play by Joe Hayden. Browns are rolling right now.
At 5:59 left in the first quarter, already a huge headline in week 2 as the Cleveland Browns are taking it to Baltimore. 14-0. Joe Hayden with the 17th career INT, and now Josh McCown takes over. Third drive, they've scored touchdowns on the first 2. Josh McCown, quick hitter to the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Terrell Pryor, locked up with Jimmy Smith.
They are going to continue, and I say they, I mean the Cleveland Browns. If you continue to get that type of coverage on the outside, like we saw in the touchdown with Corey Coleman, these one-on-one matchups against Terrell Pryor and Corey Coleman, they're going to take their shots. Hugh Jackson has given Josh McCown the green light.
Farwell again. This one does not go for 85. Eric Weddle makes the stop. How surprised are you at what we've seen in this first quarter so far in Cleveland?
I'm shocked because I did not think Cleveland would be able to run the ball. They bust a big run. I did not think Baltimore would be so aggressive on the edge in giving them some of these home run shots that we've seen to this point. So Dean Pease, who I regard as certainly one of the 3 best defensive coordinators in all of football, he's got to be able to shell shock himself right now.
Inside the 50, 50 down, inside the 54.
2 safeties deep for Baltimore. Going to allow the corners to play real aggressive underneath.
McCown on 3rd and 8. And as he throws again, but he delivers again. It's caught for a Cleveland first down by Barnage at the 11. Barnage, who had a couple of big drops last week, hauls this one in. They'll spot it right at the 10.
One thing I'll say, McCown has taken some big shots. He looks like he's almost holding his shoulder arm a little right, his left arm a little already. But Barnage, a big body, and another great throw by Josh McCown.
This is first down just outside the 10. It's Coleman again, into the end zone again. Corey Coleman. But was he marked out? Let's check.
I think he got it.
Coleman, touchdown.
Hand down, he's fine, reaches out, touchdown for sure. Corey Coleman's special. He was the most talented receiver coming out in the draft. You might have heard me say off the opening, he's a lot like Percy Harvin. Everybody knows Percy Harvin. This kid can fly, he can make people miss in space, and even for a guy that's 5'11", he can go up and catch the jump ball like we saw him do last week against the Philadelphia Eagles.
3 possessions for the Browns offense, 3 touchdowns. They had only 1 last week. They had only 2 third down conversions last week. Murray's PAT is blocked, and it is scooped, and a chance for 2 for the Baltimore Ravens. And the stunning first quarter continues. 2 on the board. That's how Baltimore gets its first 2 points. 62 yards on the return.
On the extra point.
Powers brings it all the way back. Tavon Young brings it back. So a touchdown for Coleman off the pick from Hayden. And then the blocked PAT run back for 2. We're still in the first quarter, and it is already a wild one in Cleveland. The good news for Cleveland is a 20-2 odd lead. The bad news for Cleveland, that's Josh McCown. After taking some big hits, he heading to the locker room during that last break.
Good thing is, it looks like it's his left shoulder, so if it's not too painful, he should be able to play through it. But this is the touchdown throw. That was a little after the touchdown throw, but he's had some big hits in the first quarter. The first touchdown throw to Corey Coleman on the left sideline. He took a big shot. And we saw him get hurt last year in this type of game as well. I mean, Baltimore, like we've said, they are a fierce front 4. They are big, and they will hit you.
So you saw Cody Kessler warming up for the Cleveland Browns, and now Hugh Jackson with the rookie 3rd-round pick from USC, Cody Kessler, warming up. It's the first quarter of week 2, and the Cleveland Browns may be looking at their 3rd quarterback.
Unreal. You can see Pep Hamilton sitting there next to Cody Kessler, trying to get him schooled up here. but that would be unfortunate if Josh McCown can't come out and play.
Interception on the last Ravens possession from Flacco. Picked off by Hayden to set up the third Cleveland touchdown. 2 on the board after the block. PAT run back. Flacco to the air. It's incomplete. Intended for Terrence West, and he dropped it.
Wide open, too. A busted coverage, really. Coming out of the backfield, Terrence West, he's going to have a place to run. Terrence West was on this Cleveland Browns football team. Baltimore picked him up last year. That could have been a big gainer, at least got some momentum going for this Ravens offense.
Baltimore native played at Towson. That's 4 straight incompletions for Joe Flacco, including the INT. So on the ground. Huge hit. West as he gets to the 30-yard line. Demario Davis delivers the blow. Week 2 continues later today on CBS, and for some of you on Fox. Then tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN.
It's a big third down already in the game. I know it's the first quarter and there's 4 minutes and 6 seconds left, but Baltimore Ravens defense is reeling. They need time on the sidelines to get some adjustments. They've been on the field a lot already as well.
Hughes check in the backfield with Flacco. Browns show pressure up the middle. On 3rd and 5, Flacco over the middle, reaching out to make the grab for a first down is Chris Moore, the rookie from Cincinnati.
Chris Moore is a talented player out of Cincinnati. One of my favorite guys. I watched coming out of the draft. Kind of not talked about nationally, but another good draft pick by Ozzie Newsome, who is as good as it gets at the GM level.
The former Cleveland Browns Hall of Fame tight end. First down, play fake. Flacco pressured. He's going to have to step up. Still behind the line, still looking for the deep shot. Flacco all the way across the field, incomplete as he takes a hit. Let's check in New York with JB, Coach Coward.
A memorable catch.
Yeah, this is the first NFL catch for Xavier Grimble. That coming from 20 yards out from Ben Roethlisberger as they take a 7-0 lead in that other AFC North matchup.
I'm sure Chris Sims knows. Just get open for Ben. Carter Blackburn, Chris Sims, and Jenny Dell.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it, the other AFC North matchup.
Oh, yeah, the
all
other one.
eyes on Baltimore-Cleveland, where it's a stunner here, 20-2. Flacco hands to Forsett on 2nd down. Nothing much doing there. You got 3rd down coming up again. Yeah, did we say it's AFC North that it was going to be physical and familiar?
I love the AFC North. It is a physical division. It went from being a very hard-hitting defensive division to now you got 3 quarterbacks and Flacco, Roethlisberger, Andy Dalton, who got weapons. And it's kind of turned the tide into more of a offensive explosion type of division.
Third and 8. As Baltimore tries to get on track offensively. Play clock winding down.
One-on-one up there with Rashad Perryman. I'd be aware of that.
More pressure on Flacco. It's complete. Wallace makes the grab across midfield. He's wrestled down at the 47-yard line.
Well, that is the risk Ray Orton looks like he is willing to take. If you're going to pressure Joe Flacco, you're going to leave some of these dangerous guys one-on-one outside. Mike Wallace runs a little nice route on the outside, comes back in, and I'm telling you, if Joe Flacco hit him running there, that could have been a big play.
Williams makes a big stop in the open field. First down, Flacco pressured again, tries to dump it off. It is incomplete again, intended for Terrence West, as the Browns are in the backfield again. Ogba gets the pressure. Thursday, your weekend starts here when the Houston Texans tangle with the New England Patriots. It's Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. Texans, Chiefs, big one with that playoff rematch. Week 2. Flacco turns and gives to Forsett on 2nd and 10. Trying to bounce it to the outside. Forsett near the first down. Let's check in with Ginny Dell for an update on Josh McCown.
Yeah, just a quick update. You guys saw him go off into the locker room. I can confirm that it is his left shoulder, and right now his return is questionable, guys.
Wow. After the phenomenal start for Josh McCown and the Cleveland Browns, it could be the rookie Cody Kessler coming out next time Cleveland gets the football.
Oh, man.
Play fake. Flacco on first down. Bobbled and incomplete to Chris Moore on what looked like a touchdown.
Wow. Well, you'd like Chris Moore to make that catch for sure. You'd like Joe Flacco to make it a little easier on him. Really, Joe Flacco had some open people here. As you can see, it wasn't just Chris Moore, but that would have been a for sure touchdown just off the fingertips. But man, the Baltimore Ravens, like we've seen, they're just a little off right now in all phases. McCown is running back onto the field like he might be playing, just to let you know.
McCown jogs back. Flacco faces second down again. Dump down for set. And he's able to move it. Get third and probably 2 coming up. And there's McCown back on the Cleveland Browns sideline.
The way he ran out, and now you see him with the football, that means he's going to play. Josh McCown knows he's at the tail end of his career. He's fought hard to hang around this league. He's not going to just sit out the game. Just if he can go, he's going to go. He's old school.
Time winds down in the first, 3rd and 2. That's West, and he is shoved back short of the first down. Bringing up 4th down for the Ravens as Christian Kirksey lays the lick on Terrence West on 3rd down.
It looks like they're going to go for it.
This is the end of the first quarter.
So we'll start the second with 4th down for the Ravens, but a stunning first quarter in Cleveland as the Browns lead the Ravens 20-2. Week 2 of the NFL on CBS. Baltimore's only points on a PAT block run back for 2. So the offense trying to get in gear. First play of the second quarter is 4th and 2. Shovel toss for Seth, and he is close. Cleveland thinks they've come up with a stop.
Looks short to me.
And it is. Cleveland stops Forsett and the Ravens as Demario Davis gets the tackle. And the second quarter begins with another huge play for the Browns.
Well, you'll see here, it's a toss sweep to the left. The Baltimore Ravens are going to pull some guards. I really thought at this point right here, maybe Forsett should have cut it behind Jeremy Zuttah. But Demario Davis, again, was phenomenal last week against the Eagles. You can see he is sideline to sideline, and he's a thumper in the between the tackles run game as well.
If Baltimore's going to get back in this game, they're down 20-2. Cleveland has the football again. Josh McCown is back out there for the Cleveland Browns. Big sigh of relief for the Browns fans, but we're already into the second quarter in Cleveland with a 20-2 lead. Fumble, McCown's going to just take a knee. So a chance for us to check in with Ginny Dell in a moment. Now let's check in with Ginny.
Just a quick update down here. So McCown came back out. He turned to his teammate and said, "I'm good to go." He then turned to the crowd and started chanting, "Let's go, guys." He's fired up even though that left shoulder might be hurt.
And the question, of course, of why Cleveland's booing is McCown, who gets himself up, going to the ground, and then takes the contact.
Right. It was a busted run play. And I don't know if the backside lineman knew that. So I think the referees just thought it was 2 guys playing hard, and it ended up going on top of Josh McCown. It wasn't like they were trying to hit Josh McCown.
First charge timeout, Cleveland. This will be a 30-second.
And now the Browns have to take a timeout because the confusion prior to second down with Robert Griffin, the third arm in the sling on the sideline. McCown comes back out there for first down, and this is the play.
So he fumbles the snap. He doesn't feel comfortable handing off. See, he goes down. But what happens, listen, what really people are getting mad about is Joe Thomas falling over the top. Lawrence Guy and him here. You see them right there. They go over the top.
So McCown,
I like the no call, though.
Okay. McCown, even though he gives himself up and takes contact from the Ravens defense, you say you're fine with it.
I am. I mean, listen, it's in the mosh pit of offensive defensive linemen. But, man, you see already here the hits Josh McCown's taken, even though he's completed a lot of these passes, it will take its toll on you. And of course, we're seeing that right now.
The 37-year-old Josh McCown turns and gives. That's Duke Johnson. So 3rd and long coming up. So if you're the Baltimore Ravens and McCown and the Browns are hitting on all cylinders, how does Baltimore get back in this game down 20-2 and all the momentum on the Browns side?
Well, listen, Baltimore's been in a lot of close games in the John Harbaugh era. I don't think they're going to panic. Their offense doesn't have to change anything yet. It's no time to panic. Their defense, the big thing, and I'll pat myself on the back here with the keys to the game. Play off coverage on these dangerous wide receivers for Cleveland. Keep them in front of you, rally and make the tackle. If you blitz too much, you're going to leave your guys on an island, and it could be a dangerous recipe for the Baltimore defense. You can see here they are off coverage. I like that better.
McCown on 3rd and 12. Downfield caught. Pryor has another first down as the Browns convert on 3rd down again. Terrell Pryor makes the grab in front of Jimmy Smith. 5 for 5 on 3rd down.
5 for 5, and this is some of the best protection he saw all day. You could see he had a nice clean pocket. Terrell Pryor basically runs what we call like a circus stop route. It's like a deep out, and he curls up. He's a big target, and it was a nice on-time throw by McCown.
So how does the Browns offense 2 for 10 on 3rd down last week, 5 for 5? McCown to Crowell on the pass play. Crowell across midfield again. Another big one for the Browns. How much of this is Josh McCown at quarterback for the Browns?
Well, Josh has got phenomenal talent, and I think a little bit of his Hugh Jackson as well with some great game planning. Even that play right there. That was the middle linebacker's responsibility to get out there in the flat and cover Isaiah Crowell, but there was some receivers that caused some traffic. Now the linebacker can't get out there, and it's a nice, easy completion on 1st down to put your team in a good position.
7 for 9 for Josh McCown. It's Coleman in motion. Crowell on the right side, looking for a hole. Closed off. Crowell manages to turn the corner anyway and get a couple. C.J. Mosley in pursuit there on Isaiah Crowell.
Even that, I mean, that's a sign to me almost that Baltimore is not playing well right now. The fact that Crowell was able to bounce that outside. One thing you'll always see with a Baltimore Ravens defense, they will call it set the edge. On the edge of their defense, their outside linebackers, their defensive end, don't let the running back bounce it outside. Let's funnel everything inside to the guys like Zach Orr and C.J. Mosley so they can clean it up from there.
Crowell already over 100 yards, 85 of them on the huge run. So McCown, 2nd down. That is tipped and incomplete, and a miscommunication intended for Coleman. Right almost had the pick. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the latest NFL scores and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. And they will certainly be talking about one of the Week 2 headlines here in Cleveland as the Browns are up 20-2 on the Ravens. Week 1, 2 for 10. Today, 5 for 5 on 3rd down with Josh McCown taking over for Robert Griffin III. Flag down. Looked like encroachment.
I didn't think anybody on Cleveland moved to enforce the encroachment. That's the
Neutral zone infraction, defense, 57. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's a big penalty, though. Now you're going to have 3rd and 2. Changes the approach for the Ravens defense and Dean Pease. Let me see here. Now, C.J. Mosley crosses the line, but so they're just going to count the hand movement as, you know, I don't know if that was necessarily encroachment. I don't think I would have called that if I'm the referee.
Duke Johnson in the backfield. McCown keeps it, takes a pop, doesn't have the first down. So it is the first 3rd down stop by the Baltimore defense against the Browns today.
Well, I think he runs. I don't think that was the smartest play call with Josh McCown's left shoulder hurting. But I think they run it there because They're in no man's land right now. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 2. They probably didn't feel comfortable kicking a 53, 54-yard type field goal. There, it looks like Hugh Jackson's going to let the clock run down, take a timeout, and they'll talk about this.
So prior to 4th and 2, the Browns use
Second charge timeout, Cleveland.
their second timeout.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Hugh Jackson has a decision to make prior to 4th and 2, as you said, in no man's land between punting and kicking the field goal. Tonight, what does a submarine with 200 nuclear warheads on it look like? Find out on a new story on 60 Minutes, plus an interview with the Libertarian candidates for president tonight. Carter Blackburn, Chris Sims, Jenny Dell, our producers, Scott Brandwine, our director, Andy Freeman, back here in Cleveland, where Hugh Jackson's Browns, after looking bad in week 1, have looked phenomenal thus far in their week 2 matchup.
And I don't think it was as bad as it really looked on the scoreboard in week 1. That game was a lot closer than people realized. But this is a tough decision if I'm Hugh Jackson here. This is why he gets paid the big bucks as a head coach. It's 4th and 2 at the 36. You kick the field goal and you go up and you make it and you go up by 21 points, you go up by 3 touchdowns. But if you miss it, you give Baltimore good field position. If I'm Hugh Jackson, I think this is the proper call.
McCown and the Cleveland offense out there for 4th and 2. McCown's going to turn, but first flags before the handoff to Crowell.
That's a false start on Cleveland, so now this is going to change it once again. You'll see them punt.
Snap infraction. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Cameron Irving, who had the snap that resulted in a safety last week. A snap infraction on 4th and 2.
He's learning. He's a young pup. He played center and left tackle at Florida State. And I don't care how good the ACC is in Florida State, it ain't the NFL and the AFC North. So he's learning his way, and playing center at the NFL is a whole different ball game with all the things you have to do at the line of scrimmage, getting the unit, the offensive line unit, all on the same page.
Devin Hester with a chance to turn things around for Baltimore. Britton Colquitt will punt. Colquitt trying to hang it high. It'll bounce inside the 5, and the Browns down it. Inside the 5-yard line, inside the 3. Colquitt and the Browns rolling 20-2. Prior to kickoff in today's game between the Browns and the Ravens, the unveiling of the Jim Brown statue outside of First Energy Stadium, and the all-time Browns legend is with our Jenny Dell.
Jim, earlier today you witnessed the unveiling of your statue, the first of any Cleveland's Brown player. What does that honor mean to you?
Oh, it's a tremendous honor. And it's a great team honor because football is a team sport. But to be recognized in that way, it's fantastic.
Many of the players said that you are the greatest of all time, and it's an honor to have a legend like you around. How important is it for you to stay involved with this organization?
Well, this is a great organization. The Haslams have done a wonderful job. Our veterans, we're all like together on everything. We have a great appreciation for the fans in Cleveland. So all we have to do now is win a championship.
There you have it, guys. Thank you so much for your time, Jim.
Thank you.
Back to you.
The last was in 1964 for the Cleveland Browns. Earlier this week, he also received the Aaron's Award, the highest honor to a Syracuse alum. As they call him around Cleveland, including the present Cleveland Browns, it is just Mr. Brown.
We learned that from all the Browns players at Friday practice.
Blacker to throw on 2nd and 4. It's incomplete. Hayden in coverage on the outside again with Mike Wallace to bring up 3rd and 4 for the struggling Baltimore offense. So you look at Jim Brown, the 104.3 rushing yards a game, all-time NFL record, and of course, Hall of Fame candidate.
Amazing. I mean, maybe the greatest football player in the history of the game. A guy that's ahead of his time, like a Babe Ruth, a Muhammad Ali, a Michael Jordan. He was the kind of specimen you saw in the 80s, but he was back in the 50s and 60s.
The statue of Jim Brown unveiled outside pre-kickoff. The 2016 Browns have been phenomenal to begin against the Ravens. But a big conversion on third down. With Flacco and the Ravens backed up, he finds Dennis Pitta to move the chains.
They need to get Dennis Pitta going there. The Cleveland Browns only rushed 3 there. They dropped 8 into coverage. But Joe Flacco knows in that situation, okay, I got 5 blockers against 3 rushers. I can be patient in the pocket and let some routes to develop downfield. Pitta does a good job of finding the hole in the zone right over the middle.
Look at the discrepancy in total yards between Cleveland and Baltimore. Play fake. Flacco to the air again, completes again to the 26-yard line. Guess who? Dennis Pitta. Just as you prescribed, Chris.
Yes, Dennis Pitta is one of the better pass-catching tight ends in all of football. Been dealing with hip injuries the last really 2 years. They need him to be healthy. He adds another dynamic to the offense and lets them get into some 2 and 3 tight end sets and become very hard to defend, a la like the New England Patriots with Rob Gronkowski and all the tight ends they've used over the years.
Baltimore's only scorer came on a PAT run back. Toss for set. He gets across the 33-yard line, taking Derek Kendrick for a ride, but he finishes it off with a tackle.
We've seen this a few times today, this little shotgun toss sweep. Forsett does a good job of finding the cutback lane, going up there. Forsett's a shifty little runner that can make a lot of people miss in space. Like I said earlier, though, Baltimore doesn't need to panic. It's still early. This is the NFL. Joe Flacco can light up the scoreboard just as quickly as Josh McCown did.
1st and 10 from the 33. Another play fake, trying to set up the screen, just dump it incomplete.
Number 88, an eligible receiver, was in the area. There's no intentional grounding.
So trying to get it to Pitta on a tight end screen.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal play by Emmanuel Ogbah there to a rookie at Oklahoma State. That's the thing you like to see. A rookie that has a clue of what is going on. You see Ogbah at the bottom of your screen. He kind of notices that Dennis Pitta doesn't really block him, and he goes, you know what? I'm not going to fall for that trap. Good job by him.
Steve Pyatt putting pressure on Flacco as well. 2nd and 10. Flacco goes to Pitta again on 2nd down. He's shoved out after Pitta makes the grab at the 35. Tramon Williams on the tackle.
Flacco being smart. If there was one bad thing about his game last week, he wasn't necessarily accurate on some of those short throws. Today, it looks like he's got it going. And this is a big 3rd down again. Yes, they gave themselves some breathing room. At least they changed field position on the Cleveland Browns. But you'd like to give your defense a little bit more rest and hopefully get some points here.
Flacco on 3rd and 7, stepping up, incomplete, and almost intercepted again. Looking for Pitta, and Kendrick nearly had the pick on the deflection. It would have been Flacco's 2nd.
Well, this wouldn't have been on Joe Flacco. That was a perfect throw. You see Pitta, he tries to kind of cradle with his arms instead of putting his hands out there. And the rookie out of TCU, Kendrick, almost comes down with it.
Browns think he's going to be a big one. So with the Ravens offense still struggling, it's Sam Cook on the punt again. Hits it at the 27. Tramon Williams calls for the fair catch inside the 15. Muffs it, gets back on top. I'll have it at the 10. The NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network. State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And by Genesis. Take a breath of fresh luxury.
The NFL recognizes Hispanic Heritage Month by celebrating the history, culture, and tradition of Latinos. Visit NFL.com/Hispanic Heritage to view unique stories, features, and content. SAP announcer at today's game, Armando Quintero. It's called a shocking start to week 2 for the Cleveland Browns in Crowell, who had the big one, the 85-yard touchdown run to tackled there by C.J. Mosley. So what in the world do the Baltimore Ravens have to do to get back in this football game?
Well, listen, like we've talked about a little already, there's still a lot of time. 18 points in the NFL is not a big deal.
Is reported as eligible. Number 66 is reported as eligible.
Got an eligible receiver at the lineman position. But regardless, Spencer Drago is eligible, just so everybody knows out there. I'm trying to do my job here. But Baltimore, again, make Cleveland go the length of the field, limit the big plays. That would be my big approach.
Fling it to the outside on the screen. Baltimore ready for that one.
You got to limit the amount of one-on-one opportunities on the outside, protect your corners a little bit, and make Cleveland prove to you that they can go on 10, 12-play drives and execute in the short pass game and the run game.
So Darius Smith gets a stop there on Corey Coleman on the busted screen. McCown, 8 for 11. He has taken a pounding but remained in the game for the Cleveland Browns, the 37-year-old.
You got a 3rd and 2 here, so the whole playbook's open for Hugh Jackson. He can run the ball here, but I expect we see a short pass.
McCown rolling, throwing, completing. That's a first down. It's Andrew Hawkins who moves the chains for the Browns.
What we would call a little sprint right option in the West Coast offense. You could see they kind of threatened Terrell Pryor at the outside corner going deep. And then Corey Coleman just simply runs a little 5-yard out. And again, Josh McCown on the money with the football.
Jimmy Smith makes the stop. Crowell in the backfield. Out of the eye with Malcolm Johnson at fullback. McCown turns, Crowell has it on the left side with a hole to push it across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Orr and Mosley, the inside linebackers, make the stop. Crowell, the 3rd-year player out of Alabama State, undrafted free agent. 85-yard run, the 2nd longest in Browns history. 115 rushing yards for Isaiah Crowell already. McCown on 2nd down. Pressured. McCown slips away. Sacked at the 20-yard line. Urban gets the pressure on Josh McCown.
Brent Urban, hey, we talk about Cleveland being young on their football team. The Baltimore Ravens are as young as you're going to get as well. Brent Urban out of Virginia. He was a guy that was hurt last year. Matthew Judon, a rookie at a Grand Valley State, is a guy that's been playing really well for the Baltimore Ravens. He starts off the pressure. Urban finishes it. Like I said a little earlier, and we've talked about, just another big guy. They got tremendous depth on this Baltimore Ravens front 7.
McCown and the Browns have been phenomenal on 3rd down. 6 of 7. Inside here, Johnson on 3rd and 12. So punt coming for the Cleveland Browns. Weddle gets the stop on Duke Johnson on the 3rd and 12 give.
Nice safe call. He doesn't want anything. You don't know what you're going to get from Dean Pease and his defense in 3rd and long type of situations. Hugh Jackson managing his team. Calls the run play. Punt it out. You're not going to win every 3rd and long type of situation, especially against these exotic, creative Baltimore Ravens defenses.
Devin Hester back to return the punt from Britton Colquitt. Last punt, he pinned the Ravens inside their own 3. Hester will have a much better chance this time. Calls for the fair catch, grabs it at the 25. The Baltimore Ravens play with heavy hearts today. Clarence Brooks, the longest tenured member of the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff, died on Saturday at age 65. Our condolences to the family, Clarence Brooks, and all those around football who mourn his loss. Only 2 points on the scoreboard for Baltimore on the first down carry to the 30-yard line. Justin Forsett. So no matter which way you slice it, Baltimore's offense is struggling mightily against the Browns.
Yes, and it's been all things. Joe Flacco's missed a few throws. He's had a little pressure. Linemen have messed up blocking assignments. Even had some drop passes like we saw from Dennis Pitta. Here's going deep, going to Rashad Perriman.
Deep shot, Flacco to Perriman, almost picked again by Joe Hayden. Hayden would have been his second pick on the deep shot. Hayden nearly came away with the football.
Wow, well, one thing you know about Baltimore, they are not going to be scared to take their shots vertically down the field. But so far, the Cleveland Browns have done a phenomenal job in coverage. And Joe Hayden, if there was one thing I would say, I worry about whether he has that sixth gear like he used to 2-3 years ago, because he's been injured. But right there, he looks like he's got it.
Flacco now 8 for 19, only 60 passing yards. Steve Smith doesn't have a catch. But this one's complete, and Pitta has room to run. Pitta cuts it back to the 40, and a potential touchdown-saving tackle by Derek Kindred on the biggest offensive play of the day for the Ravens, 30 yards.
Well, this is the risk you take if you're Ray Orton and sending pressure at Joe Flacco on third down. There you go, a nice accurate throw to Dennis Pitta. Hoyer tries to go for the batted ball, he misses, and now since you're in man-to-man and you pressured, there's a lot of space out there to do something after the catch.
From 60 passing yards to 90 on one play. Flacco over the middle again, it's caught. That's Crockett Gilmore, so to the tight end working the seams again. Crockett Gilmore takes it inside the 20.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 99 in the defense. Low hit to the knees of the quarterback. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
And that takes us to the 2-minute warning with a stunning 20-2 score. Best drive of the day for Joe Flacco and the Ravens. They have it first and goal from the Cleveland 9. Almost as many yards on this drive as they had in the game thus far. For Seth, the ball carrier, he's going to take it to the 7. This was the penalty on the hit on Flacco.
This is life in the NFL. Stephen Paya, you see there, he knows he's going to hit him in the leg. He's trying to stop. It's unfortunate for defensive linemen. Oh, yeah, run through these 300-pound offensive linemen, and if you fall off balance, we don't want you to hit the quarterback in the knee. So I feel bad for them being an ex-quarterback, but that's just quite simply the rule right now in this league.
Flacco protected in the pocket there, so Paya goes low, gets the flag. Just prior to the 2-minute warning. Second and goal now. And a lined up to the outside on the left. Here comes the pressure. Flacco flings, complete. Touchdown, Mike Wallace hauls it in. And after the phenomenal start for the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore finally into the end zone with 1:15 to go in the second quarter as Flacco and the Ravens try to begin the comeback effort here in Cleveland.
Hey, this ain't Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens' first rodeo. They are not going to panic in this situation. And, you know, nor should they be discouraged. We have seen some people open. Whether it was Chris Moore in the misconnection for the drop touchdown pass earlier in the first quarter, the Dennis Pitta drop. So they have shown, even with this drive here, that they can get some people open in the passing game. And I like the fact that they're not going for 2. Let's not chase points with 1:15 left in the second quarter.
Justin Tucker boots through the PAT. So after the 20-2 start for the Browns, Flacco and the Ravens starting to get back on track. The veteran QB to the veteran wideout Mike Wallace. Touchdown, Ravens.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx, helping small businesses simplify e-commerce. And by Bud Light, beer with your team on it.
That's a legendary West Side Market here in Cleveland. This past April, they started adding Sunday hours, so they're following along remotely using the CBS Sports app, I'm sure. 20-9, Cleveland on the Ravens. So Flacco 8 for his first 18. And on that drive, 3 for 4, 59 yards, and the touchdown pass. For Wallace. Johnson from near the goal line. Duke Johnson shakes his way across the 20-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Yeah, well, 2 things to notice here. Look, first of all, look at all the people at the line of scrimmage for the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco knows it's going to be a blitz. And then you're going to see clear route by Steve Smith, slant route by Mike Wallace, and a perfect throw by Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco can stripe the ball as good as it gets in the NFL. Like Mark Trestman told us yesterday in meetings, I'm still waiting to see him throw his first wobbly pass. that just tells you what kind of thrower Joe Flacco is. And then what John Harbaugh goes, yeah, he's got arm talent, doesn't he? And exactly. I mean, he excites offensive coordinators and coaches because of the explosive arm ability of Joe Flacco.
So for McCown and the Browns, one timeout, minute 10 with a 20-9 lead. Josh McCown pushes it downfield, complete. Gain of 9. That's Barnage who makes the grab. Coming up, Verizon halftime report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower. All the latest scores and the highlights, plus a preview Thursday night football on CBS and the NFL Network. Verizon halftime report coming up. McCown takes a deep shot, and it is intercepted by Eric Weddle. Picked off with 42 seconds. The new Raven after the terrific career with the San Diego Chargers. Eric Weddle picks off McCown, setting up the Ravens with 42 seconds.
Right, and that's why we've been saying you don't have to panic if you're the Baltimore Ravens. This game is not over. Josh McCown, that was a dicey decision. He knows better than that, and I'm sure that's exactly what Hugh Jackson told him. Jimmy Smith, I'll say this too, on the coverage downfield. I did think there was a little extracurricular pushing and holding there. No call, and Weddle, the sure-handed safety from the San Diego Chargers all those years, makes a big-time pick.
So after the frustrating end in San Diego, has his first INT as a Raven.
Right, and see Weddle, nice catch, toe tapping.
Ravens get the football with 42 seconds after the interception. Almost all of the Baltimore offense came on that last touchdown drive, ending Flacco to Mike Wallace. Now they have the football back with 42 seconds.
42 seconds, 3 timeouts. Baltimore, you just play for the field goal here. That's the smart thing to do. And because of the 3 timeouts, they can work the middle of the field. Their offense is totally open.
Flacco to the outside, knocked away, looking for Steve Smith Sr. Doesn't have a catch in the first half. Joe Hayden knocks it away.
Joe Hayden, phenomenal coverage once again. They've done a good job of stopping some of those back shoulder throws here. We've seen them about the 3rd time today. They've stopped that little route combination. And Steve Smith Sr., hey, he is a legend, an NFL legend, but I'm sure he's still not quite hitting on all cylinders after tearing his Achilles last year.
Ravens need about 20 yards to give Justin Tucker a chance. The most accurate kickers in NFL history. Flacco check down Pitta to the outside again with the 3 timeouts. Pitta wrestled down at the 44-yard line. So timeout number 1 stops it with 29 seconds to bring up 3rd clock.
Timeout Baltimore. This will be a 30-second timeout.
And again, you're Joe Flacco. Of course, you'd like to get your team in field goal position here. But having said that, he should learn from what he just saw with Josh McCown on the other side. There's no reason to force anything down the field. You're down 11 points. As all you fans out there know, as you know, Carter, 11 points in the NFL this day and age is just nothing. But yeah, they get to the 40-yard line, 43-yard line. Tucker's the type of kicker that can hit a 60, 62, 63-yarder.
His career long is 61. He hit from 60 in warm-ups. 29 seconds, 2 timeouts. Flacco, time to throw. Completes again across midfield. That's Juszczyk, the fullback, to the 49.
This will be a 30-second.
1st and 10, 23 seconds and a timeout.
Yes, good decision. I think Flacco was thinking about throwing it deep here to the left sideline and kind of mid-throw said, you know what, I'm going to take the safe completion underneath, get the first down.
Well, the numbers for Joe Flacco were horrendous. 44% until the last touchdown drive when he went 3 for 4. Then McCown throws the INT, so these numbers that were so lopsided 2 drives ago started to even out.
Right, and we've talked about it. The numbers for Flacco, I think, early on were a little misleading because of some drops and just some missed connections with the receivers down the field.
5 straight completions now for Flacco. Off 1st and 10. Long drop. Deep shot. Intended for Wallace again, and it's incomplete. Overshooting Mike Wallace. Jamar Taylor airing coverage on the deep shot.
They're not going to stop throwing it deep, and that's from the captain's orders of John Harbaugh. He said, we're not here to manage the game, and Joe Flacco, we want to put pressure on the defense with the deep passing game, and he stressed to us how he's stressed to the receivers all week. If you want to throw the ball deep, you can't let the defenders pick it off. When we do it, it's either you got to catch it or nobody catches it.
So after the deep shot, we'll see if the Ravens start to think field goal with one timeout, 14 seconds. Flacco complete to the 35. Smith makes his first grab at the 34-yard line, maybe the 35. We'll see where they spot it. But there's the final timeout, 10 seconds. What do the Ravens do now?
Well, you have two options here. You can get in the formation and go, you know what, let's try to throw one more quick pass to the sideline to make Justin Tucker's job a little easier. Or you could take one shot at the end zone if you felt like it. You could do either one. There's no doubt about it. Baltimore, I would be scared with John Harbaugh and Flacco that they might take a shot down the field if you leave them one-on-one outside.
Sure enough, for now, Tucker is on the sideline. It would be a 52-yard attempt from here. Hit 50 last week, hit 60 in warm-ups, but Flacco and the offense on the field with 10 seconds.
Yeah, we'll see. I might get a better feel for the formation, but like I said, they can just go, let's get a few extra garbage yards to make Justin Tucker's job a little easier. But if he gets a one-on-one situation, and you can see right now, Cleveland's safeties are deep. Check looking for a little garbage completion. There you go.
So tested 5 seconds. No timeouts. Here comes Tucker for the field goal.
One of the best kickers in football. He's a Longhorn like myself, so you know I like that. Hook 'em horns, baby. Even though we're not hooking anything after that loss to California last night.
I was going to say that's pretty bold for a team who just lost late night at Cal. Justin Tucker from 52. 52-yard field goal from Tucker is easily good. And so after the hot start for Cleveland, as the skirmish continues at the end of the first half, it is Baltimore who finishes the first half with a touchdown and then a 52-yard field goal from Justin Tucker to make it an 8-point game at the half.
Yes, a little deflating if you're the Cleveland Browns because you dominated the first quarter and a half at least, and Baltimore goes into halftime feeling good about themselves and with all the momentum on their side.
8-point game. They take the interception and turn it into 3 with a 52-yarder. Jenny Dell is with you, Jackson.
Coach, after a loss week 1 and losing your quarterback, you came out dominating to start this game, but it seems the momentum has shifted a little bit in the second quarter. What have you seen?
We just got to get it back. We can't turn the ball over. We had a chance to make some plays. We didn't make them. It's unfortunate we gave them 3 points here at the end of the half. We got to go get our momentum back.
Is McCown healthy?
He's hanging in there. He's fighting. He's battling. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
That is the end of the first half with the score now 20-12. Browns leading the Ravens. We'll be back with a Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.